I remember the first time I noticed it, like the tip of a broken glass buried in the pit of my stomach. I sat on the edge of my bed, my fingers wrapped tightly around my phone, when I realized the notification wasn't from the usual people. It was a stranger. The message had no subject, but the name that appeared, I knew it wasn't one I'd recognized. No, this wasn't normal. And there was something else, too, something far worse. I felt my skin prickle, and for a moment, I could have sworn someone was watching me. It started innocently enough. Just like anyone, I had my usual routine. I'd finished work and decided to log onto a couple of social media sites before calling it a day. Nothing out of the ordinary, the usual. I was alone in my apartment, enjoying the rare quiet evening after a long week of back-to-back deadlines. It had been about 3 weeks since I moved into the new apartment. I wasn't used to the silence, but I figured that was just the adjustment period. There wasn't much to complain about. My neighbors were quiet, the apartment was cozy, and the city was just a short walk away. Things felt fine, safe. My friends and I often joked online, sending memes, catching up. But that night, there was a weird shift, a different kind of energy. The social media apps were filled with the same old things. Pictures, updates, group chats. But then came that notification. My fingers hovered over the message, not because I was curious, but because something about it felt wrong. It was from someone named James. No profile picture, just a blank face. I stared at it for what felt like forever. It wasn't much, just a few sentences, but I could feel something inside of me cringe. My mind raced, trying to come up with reasons to dismiss it. Maybe it was just some random person trying to get a conversation going, but the feeling in my gut told me otherwise. I remember telling myself I was being paranoid, but the message didn't stop nagging at me. It started innocently, really just asking what I was up to, where I lived, if I was a fan of certain things. Normal, typical small talk, or so it seemed. But there was a pattern to his questions. Subtle, off. My stomach dropped when he asked, "Do you ever get lonely?" The question didn't feel right. It wasn't normal small talk. Something about it seemed too personal, a strange, probing curiosity. My mind immediately went to red flags. How did he know I was alone? How did he know anything about me? I tried to shake it off. It was a coincidence, probably. But then he sent another message, one I couldn't ignore. "Been watching you for a while." My hands froze, and the air in my apartment suddenly felt thin. I didn't know how to respond. I thought about blocking him, deleting the message, but something kept me frozen in place, my fingers hovering over my phone. My mind raced. Was it just a joke? Was I overreacting? I told myself it was just a prank. I told myself it was nothing. But my fingers were trembling, and my heart pounded in my chest. The night stretched on. I ignored the messages for a while. I told myself, it's just a weird coincidence. The silence from him should have been comforting, but instead, it gnawed at me. It was the kind of silence that felt too still, like everything had paused for just a moment too long. "Are you alone?" I checked my security cameras, just to be sure. It had been a habit of mine to set them up when I moved, and something about being alone in a new place made me cautious. But nothing had been out of place. My mind was playing tricks on me, right? I took a breath, opened the message again, and quickly typed back, "Who are you?" His response was simple. "James, remember? We're friends now." I felt my chest tighten, my body tensed with the weight of that sentence. I kept thinking about that message, the strange tone, and how it seemed to hit too close to home. There were so many unanswered questions. Who was this person, and why did he know things about me? By then, I couldn't ignore the discomfort creeping up my spine. The next day, I looked through my apartment, checked the windows, checked the locks just to be sure. But something had changed. My space, the place I'd lived in for weeks, felt foreign. I was no longer alone in my own home. I decided to trace the number. It was a burner phone. No details to uncover, just an anonymous string of numbers. But that sinking feeling in my gut hadn't left. Then came the knock. It was soft, tentative, and yet the sound echoed through my apartment like a warning bell. I froze. My heart dropped, and a chill ran down my spine. I hesitated, every cell in my body telling me to run. But I couldn't move. The knock came again, harder this time. I crept to the peephole, but when I looked, no one was there. I felt my legs give way beneath me. I don't know how long I stayed like that, trembling, staring at the door. Eventually, I called the police, but when they came, they found nothing, no evidence, no signs of forced entry, no trace of anyone. The officers assured me that sometimes people's minds can play tricks. It was probably just a neighbor or someone else in the building messing around, but I couldn't shake the feeling. That was the first time I ever felt truly alone. I locked myself inside that night, and I never went to the door again. I haven't heard from James since, but that lingering question still sits with me. Who was he really, and how did he know so much about me? I haven't been able to answer that. Have you ever felt that same eerie sense of isolation? The kind that doesn't just come from being physically alone, but from realizing someone out there might be watching you without you even knowing. If you have an experience you still think about late at night, you can share it with us. Stay safe, and always trust your instincts.